This is your tech news briefing for Wednesday, March 22nd. I'm Julie Chang for The Wall Street Journal, filling in for Zoe Thomas. It seems like every day we're hearing about a new use case for artificial intelligence, from writing cover letters to coding. And as AI and other emerging technologies continue to hit the market, top of mind for many European officials is regulation. At this year's MWC, the mobile tech show formerly known as Mobile World Congress, the Wall Street Journal senior personal tech columnist Joanna Stern sat down with Carme Artigas, Spain's Secretary of State for Digitization and Artificial Intelligence. They talked about the EU's approach to AI, the Metaverse, and privacy regulations. Here are highlights from their conversation.
So AI is a big topic right now of any industry, really. ChatGPT has taken the consumer world right now by storm, in the sense that people are interacting with computers in a different way. When you think about AI, and you have a big background in big data, are you shocked this has sort of come along so quickly? And are you thinking a lot about the implications for consumers and your citizens?
Absolutely. I think AI, together with, I mentioned, quantum computing or new technologies, are key disruptive technologies. All the area of deep tech has important focus on also the public investment of the government of Spain. So in Spain, we are leading, I would say, development of AI in three important areas. One, sustainable and fair AI, and we are leading the sandbox of the future European regulation on artificial intelligence. We are leading all the work with the industry to trying to prevent that the AI is developed with biases. We also have developed the Charter of Digital Rights, in which we put special rights on AI, like the right not to be discriminated by an algorithm or the right to have a second human opinion. We are also very interested in a national plan we have launched called the National Plan for Green Algorithms. ChatGPT is an example of how AI is developed, but with a high consumption on energy, which is not sustainable in the long term, the same way like Web3 is not sustainable today. So we want to develop green AI by design, not worried at the end of the value chain that the data centers are fed with renewable energy. We want to find better ways to develop artificial intelligence, which is sustainable. And in particular in Spain, we want to have the leadership on AI developed in the Spanish language. All the artificial intelligence is developed in English or in Chinese. In fact, we've made the same prompt in English in ChatGPT, and then to make the same prompt in Spanish, it gives you different answers. So there's an important gap. We have 600 million Spanish speakers in the world, and Spain is determined to lead the development of AI solutions and, of course, language models in Spanish.
The EU has been at the forefront of so much of consumer privacy, GDPR, et cetera. Are there updates that you think need to be made there with this quick coming of AI and consumer use of AI?
Of course, Europe has a very important set of regulation that is in place now, the Digital Services Act, the Digital Market Act. They try to limit the excessive power of the current digital platforms on data users. We have sometimes have the dichotomy between data protection and data reusability. That is not that anymore. We can reuse data, but with privacy and control. We need also to define the way we interact with data with third countries with trust, called free data flows with trust, and that's important international agreement on that. And now we're going to lead the development of the European regulation on artificial intelligence. We put some limits, for example, for, I would say, facial recognition in open spaces. Another example is neurotechnologies, where Spain is very concerned about. Part of the Charter of Digital Rights focus on non-invasive neurotechnologies, the right not to be augmented by a chip or by a neurotechnology device, the right to protect the free will. So there are a lot of important topics that if we cannot solve before technology is broadly adopted. An example is Metaverse. We should regulate Metaverse before it becomes mainstream, because otherwise it will happen like with climate change. There are some harm that we will not be able to revert back.
Yeah.
And that's our main concern.
While we're on the Metaverse, I'm going to ask you, because I'm asking every guest here to end the sentence for me. The Metaverse is, you have to fill in the blank.
The Metaverse is the convergence of several technologies like 5G, virtual reality, augmented reality, to create immersive experiences that are very good in the future in terms of, for example, new opportunities for education, opportunities that can help sustainability, like the digital twins, but also poses serious risks. And we need to protect the concentration of data, of all that different types of data in the hands of a few companies. And for me, Metaverse has always needs to have a foot on the physical world, a foot on the ground.
And I'm just very fascinated in hearing this term about digital twins and what this future of us, each digitally being recreated, means for both regulation, but also as you're thinking about it for the future.
Digital twin now is applied in industry. So you have here an engine, you have a nuclear plant. You don't need to test everything physically. Even you have a prototype, you have a digital reproduction of the existing physical device that is synchronized with sensors. So if there is a problem of maintenance, you can test it on the device, and then you put it on the real device, in the real engine. But there is also digital twins of human beings. We are starting in Europe developing the first digital twin of the heart, digital twin of skin. And for example, that would be as good as if I'm trying to test a procedure or a cancer treatment, which is innovative. I can test it before in the twin and before applying to me. If I want to give up smoking, I don't smoke, but imagine I should give up smoking or a diet. I can test my diet on the digital twin, several strategies, and then the one that works is the one that I apply for me. Another important digital twin is the digital twin of the world in terms of climate prevention. And there is also important initiatives at European level to have a digital twin of the Earth.
You mentioned facial recognition. How do you think that can be used responsibly? And I know that the EU is looking at a ban on that. Where do you fall on that? And again, is it, you've mentioned a couple of times here, the responsibility and being able to get ahead of it. What are you doing there?
You know that precisely this is one of the hot topics on the future European regulation on AI that now is being discussed in the trilogues. The trilogues are, once you have the position of the Commission, then you have the Council, you have the Parliament. So they need to come to an agreement. The position of the Commission is to ban facial recognition in public open spaces. So if I'm going to demonstration for Black Lives Matter, the government doesn't need to know that I was there. That has happened in the US. It's happening in China. In Europe, we have a different approach. We think that data is not in the hands of the companies, not in the hands of the government. It must be under control of citizens.
And that's it for today's Tech News Briefing. But a quick reminder before we go, we want to hear your questions about generative artificial intelligence for an upcoming episode. Do you have questions about AI programs like ChatGPT, Microsoft's new Bing search, or Midjourney? Email us a voice recording to tnb@wsj.com or leave us a voicemail on 415-439-6482. We look forward to hearing from you. I'm Julie Chang for The Wall Street Journal. Thank you for listening.